Hi, and welcome back to the Who Is series that Pragmatic Works is running. Today we're going to be talking to Kim Stinehour, who's been with us for many years. And Kim, first of all, you're employee number one or two?
Two.
Or two? Not
number
one.
Two.
Number two. So Kim's been here from basically the beginning. So Kim, tell us a little bit about yourself. You've had a bunch of different roles at Pragmatic Works. Maybe talk about that a little bit and how you came to work with Pragmatic Works.
Okay. Well, my oldest son, Colin, was in Cub Scouts and karate with Brian's son, Colton.
Okay.
I was a stay-at-home mom, and Brian was just starting Pragmatic Works, and he was just looking for someone to come, to the office 2 or 3 hours a day. My youngest son was just starting preschool at the time, so it just worked out perfectly.
Right.
We were at a tiny little office.
This is what I was hoping you bring up, is talk about the origins here.
It was me, Mike Davis, Brian, and Dustin.
Yeah.
We had 4 desks, a little window banger air conditioner, tiny little office right next to the dog groomer.
Yeah.
So Mike would take phone calls in between the dogs getting groomed, and I worked there for probably about 2.5 hours a day, and then we moved over to the other office, and now we're going to be going on our 4th office.
Yeah, 4 office in
a couple weeks.
So how many years is it now? It's been
8 years.
8 years.
It'll be my 8-year anniversary in August.
Wow. And it's funny to think too. You talked about your kids being like in preschool. Like just picturing them now, I can't imagine them being
they're
in preschool.
14 and 12 now.
Wow. So you came? You kind of met through kids and Brian's kids. You're originally from Buffalo. Mm-hmm. That's a big part of your life still, right?
It is.
Yeah. Do you still have family in Buffalo, or?
I do. All my parents are there. My brother and his wife and 2 kids. All my friends. My mother-in-law.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what do you do for us now at Pragmatic Works?
Right now, I'm the human resources manager.
Okay.
I do, mostly that, but also a lot of miscellaneous things still. But
yeah, Kim has been the catch-all from the very beginning. She's done order processing and everything at some point.
In the beginning,
you did do literally everything in the beginning. So one of the things that you do now a lot for us is, as you said, you're doing human resources. She does a lot of phone screens for us for potential candidates that are looking to join us. What is something that if someone was interested in joining us at Pragmatic Works, what's some of the things that they could do to help catch your eye or maybe dissuade themselves even? What are some of the things that you're looking for really?
Well, when I talk to people on the phone, the very first question I ask them is if they're familiar with Pragmatic Works, or if they had a chance to take a look at our website. And 95% of the people, oh yes, I love your culture. I see you sell this and do this, and there's some people, oh no, I didn't get a chance to. And when they say that, it's almost an immediate red flag.
Yeah, when you didn't bother to do any research on the company that you're about to work.
That's always my first question.
Yeah. Is there any, I'll ask you that a little bit later. I was going to ask you about funny experience there, but we'll talk about that later. So you mentioned the culture. That's one of what a lot of people have mentioned as their favorite thing about working here. What's your favorite thing about working at Pragmatic Works?
Well, the culture, definitely. I really love the people that we work with. I think it's great to, since I have been here since the beginning, to kind of see people like you, that, when you started here, you had no kids, and now, I've seen you, your kids are growing up, and, it's neat to, to see the people, grow up with.
Yeah, a lot has changed in, it seems like not long time, but it definitely has been a long time. So we're talking about funny experiences. What are some of your most fun? You've been here since the beginning, so you've seen a lot as far as funny experiences. There's a lot. What's some of your most funny experiences that you've seen or interacted with here?
Well, we can talk about Brian, and we can probably be here for 5 hours, but I remember a person that I interviewed for a job, and one of the questions I like to ask is, what is your biggest pet peeve? And this guy said his biggest pet peeve was waking up in the morning.
Ooh.
And he also showed up to his interview in sweatpants, so he didn't, needless to say, he didn't get the job, but...
That's too bad.
Yeah.
We could have called him Sweatpants Guy.
Yeah.
All right, so what a lot of people like to hear about, is what do you do in your spare time? You talked about your family a little bit. You have 2 boys, right?
Mm-hmm.
How old are they?
14 and almost 12.
14, and they're pretty big into sports. Are they still doing baseball?
Yeah, they play baseball. We bought a boat a couple years ago, so we spent a lot of time on that, fishing and just riding around on that, and camping and.
Yeah, you're a big outdoors family.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And one of the things that I think a lot of people share with you too is you have a lot of kind of some TV shows you're really into, like Walking Dead. What's some of your favorite TV shows to spend some time with?
Oh, definitely The Walking Dead. That seems like that's an office favorite. Everyone uses with their water cooler Monday morning. I like American Horror Story. I like, silly comedies like The Goldbergs is one of my favorites.
Yeah, that one's pretty good. I like that one too.
My son and I are watching Parks and Rec on Netflix right now.
I love that one.
Yeah.
That one's really funny. All right, so I have, next I'm going to ask you to choose one thing or another. So we'll call this little game here This or That.
Okay.
You have to choose one or the other. I'm going to give you two options. You have to do it quick.
Okay.
You can't put much thought into it. All right. So first of all, Walking Dead or American Horror Story?
Walking Dead.
Walking Dead. Hamburgers or hot dogs?
Hot dogs.
Hot dogs. Snow, you're from Buffalo, or extreme heat?
Extreme heat.
Really?
Sure. Yes. No question.
Pickles or cucumbers?
I like to turn cucumbers into pickles.
Okay. I knew this was going to be a tough one.
Because I love both.
Yeah.
Cucumbers.
Cucumbers, all right. Funny story, by the way. We have a special bond around, sounds very odd to say, but around cucumbers and pickles. We have pickle parties where Kim actually does her own pickling, and they are delicious. And we have some in the morning usually, which is kind of an odd time for pickles.
8 o'clock in the morning, be in the kitchen for some pickles. And
yes, and I enjoy it. And I'm going to leave it at that. All right, now this might be the toughest of all, even more than pickles or cucumbers. So Buffalo teams, Sabres or Bills?
When I lived in Buffalo, I have to answer Bills, but let me just say that when we lived in Buffalo, we had season tickets for the Sabres.
Oh, really?
We went to the hockey games a lot. I loved it, but they have not been doing very well the last 4 or 5 years. They're getting better, but we like the Bills. I like the Sabres too.
That's good.
Go Buffalo.
So one of the things too that I know you're really passionate about, and I'd love to have everyone know about as well, is some of the things that we do, and specifically in our local headquartered market in Jacksonville or Clay County area, and some of the community involvement that you especially lead a lot for us. Can you talk about a couple of the things that we do? I know there's some things we do around Christmas time, but there even throughout the year, some of the things that we do for the community.
Okay. Well, one of the things that we do that I've always kind of been a part of and I love so much is the foundation.
Yeah.
I've always been a part of, picking the candidates and, getting people signed up for that. I love that. At Christmas time, every year I get all the employees together to, pitch in money. And the last 2 years we've got gifts for the kids at the Seamark Ranch. And in years past we've gotten gifts for, families in need at church. And it's awesome to see, so many of us, give and, we get to deliver those presents.
Yeah, and a lot of the employees from around the country still are contributing into our local market here. So you mentioned a couple things there. Foundation, for folks that don't know what the foundation is, that's a nonprofit part of our company where we do a free week of training, and Kim does a lot of screening for candidates for that. Where we try and reserve spots for returning military vets or people that are transitioning careers, but we still need someone that can kind of keep up with a week of kind of intense training. So Kim does some screening for that to make sure people are able to handle that week of training. And then I think that's actually when you found one of the candidates with the sweatpants, right? Was the and then you also mentioned Seamark. Can you talk about Seamark Ranch for a moment? What's Seamark Ranch? Seamark
Ranch is a home for children that are having hard times with their families. It's right here in Clay County. I think typically they have maybe between 10 and 15 kids at a time.
Yeah.
And like I said, the last 2 Christmases we were able to give them great gifts. I can't even think of all the things that we were able to give them.
Yeah.
But it's a working ranch there.
Yeah, so they stay there. They do school. They live there.
Yeah, they live there. They do school.
Work as well.
They work on the farm and the ranch.
Yeah, that's a really cool way to get involved, and that's a great a community there basically that they built up. So yeah, those are all great ways, and I'm glad you were able to share those with us. So guys, thanks for joining us today. You've just met Kim Stinehour. If you're interviewing with us ever, you're probably going to talk to her at some point.
Don't forget to say you know about the company.
Yeah, there you go. But thanks for joining us again for our Who Is series, and stay tuned for our next one. Thanks.